In Lausanne, I'm joined in the studio by Milad Jokar. He's a writer and professor who specialises in Iran and Iranian politics. Thanks for being with us, Milad. As we heard there, we're getting a closer idea of the main sticking point now as we really come down to the 11th hour in these talks.
Absolutely, and in these tough negotiations, what needs to be done right now is to produce a document, to release a statement, to show basically to the Congress in Washington that they have made enough progress to continue the talks, mindful of the fact that the deadline is June 30th, but they have to release a document saying that we have made sufficient progress to be able to continue for the talks, and this is why they're going to talk late at night to be able to have such a document.
So who's playing hardball here in your view? Is it the Iranians saying that they want the sanctions lifted immediately? The UN is saying, hang on, we're not so sure we want to go down that route
well,
yet.
As Sanam has said, apparently they have made progress on the issue of sanctions. But right now, this is really about the American Congress and the Republican who want to make sure that they have a tough and solid agreement. But they even threaten the Obama administration to impose new sanctions on April 14th, which means that this would be a violation of the Joint Plan of Action, the interim agreement signed back in 2013. And if there are new sanctions voted, the Iranian would go back to their positions with more enrichment, and the huge risk is to go back to this escalation process in which the Iranian will continue its enrichment program and without verification, without a lot of verification, and more sanctions on the other. So it will be a lose-lose.
Would this deal, as it stands, prevent Iran from developing a nuclear bomb?
This deal is the most solid deal that we can have in the sense that it will prevent Iran to enrich uranium with a huge number of centrifuges. They would have to decrease their number to around 6,000 centrifuges. They would have to convert their stockpiles of uranium. Mm-hmm. They would have also to change their facilities when it comes to the production of plutonium, which is the second way to potentially get a nuclear weapon. And also, Iran will agree to go beyond its international obligations under the Non-Proliferation Treaty because they would sign the additional protocol which would allow the maximum regime of transparency and verification that exists. So if they don't get to a deal, we would lose all these achievements, and this really would be a very bad situation.
So we can't guarantee they won't have a nuclear bomb under this deal, but we can almost guarantee that they would without a deal at all. Is that what you're saying?
Well, the P5+1 agree that according to what they're working on, this is good enough to prevent Iran from having a breakout period of 1 year at least, which would be good enough for the P5+1 to go along with the talks.
Let's talk more broadly about the implications of a rapprochement between the United States and Iran, two countries that have been hostile towards each other for more than 30 years now. How would that change the balance of power in the region?
A nuclear deal is a key to changing the balance of power in the region. Once you have a nuclear agreement, an agreement on the nuclear issue, then you will be able to unlock how to solve different security issues in the region. But I wouldn't say that it could be a rapprochement because, as you said, tensions between the United States and Iran are very, very tough for more than 30 years. So it could be a détente, and the relationship between the United States and Iran would shift from enmity to rivals.
All right, a step in the right direction at least. Milad Jokar, thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
Well, moving now to report